Alright, so this is going to be a melon review on this hybrid melon that grows in my yard every year. They come up wild. I don't plant the seeds. They just come up every year and I let them grow. Basically, this is about the size. You can see the size of my hand. They get about, as big as my hand. But I've had these get twice as big as this. So these can get quite large. The one thing I don't like about this melon that it does, and I don't understand why it does this, even if I don't water it, this melon will get cracks in it, right here. And this thing will split open. As soon as it does that, the fruit flies go and invade your melon. So the way I see it is, with this type of melon, you're going to have to pretty much, as soon as you see the cracks happen, you got to harvest it, whether it's fully ripe or not. And you're going to have to eat it. So I don't know what kind of melon this is or where it came from or really anything about it. I mean, I've been eating this melon now for about 3 or 4 years and it just keeps coming up on its own, so I just keep eating the melons. It's just, like I said, every time I grow them, I have to pick them before they split, because if I don't, they split on their own. And I'm not sure what's causing that. It could just be the variety of melon. Don't know. I've grown a lot of melons in the past and this is obviously one of them. So let's cut this one open and see if it's even edible. Because sometimes you get them too early and they're just simply not edible melons. So this is what it looks like on the inside when it's cut open. I don't know if it's fully ripe. We're going to taste test it now. And as you can see, it's nice and orange in the middle. It's got a nice green rind on the outside. I think this whole rind's got to turn orange, if I remember. So like I say, as soon as you see that melon get some cracks in it, you got to eat it. So, and they're not really big melons. They're kind of small, but I guess for a wild melon, that's cool. Take it or leave it, I didn't actually grow it, so it kind of grew on its own. Skins are very thin. I don't think this melon is ripe, but we'll peel some of it off anyway and taste it. No, that's ripe. It tastes a little like honeydew down here. Where are you? Can't tell where you are. It tastes a little bit like honeydew right here, but then when you get up here, it's got a real different kind of a sweet flavor, almost cantaloupe mix flavor, kind of. Got a nice flavor to it. It's very nice. Not much different than a honeydew crossed with a cantaloupe. It's very possible that's what happened here, because I do grow cantaloupes and honeydews all the time, and it's very possible this is one of the ones that came out of a cross that took place. I don't know. It's a very nice melon. I like them growing. The only thing, like I said, I don't like about it is they crack. I mean, I could call this melon a crack melon. I really don't know. I've never had melons that just crack. Even if I take the melon off the vine, I just sit it on the table, it'll develop cracks. So, not sure why it does that. It must be absorbing humidity out of the air. I have no idea. But as soon as I see those cracks form in a melon, I got to pick them or the fruit flies will get them. But it's a very delicious melon. This is definitely very unique to itself. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. But I have eaten these melons where they did get fully ripened without cracking. And I picked them off the vine and they were absolutely delicious. It's a very delicious melon. This plant is very productive. In my area, it's quite difficult to grow melons. But for some reason, this melon doesn't really get downy mildew or powdery mildew. It grows, it puts out anywhere between, I don't know, 5 and a dozen melons. I've had one plant put out as many as a dozen melons. Much bigger than what you see here. If you grow it out in full sunlight and with its own growing area, it'll grow tons and tons of melons. It's a very wonderful melon. It's very different than most of the other melons I grow or have grown. Here's a melon that didn't crack open. So I picked it a little early because I wanted to get it before it cracks. As soon as it cracks, then the fruit flies get in there and I don't want that. But it ripens pretty much the same way a cantaloupe would ripen on your table. So they do seem to ripen up a little bit more after you pick them. So if you pick them a little bit early before they start cracking, then maybe you're better off. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, you know, what it's supposed to do. I don't know. This is the first, you know, time I've ever had a wild melon just kind of grow on its own out here. But nevertheless, I will offer seeds to this melon. I guess I'll call it a crack melon. I'll leave a link in the description. You can pick them up on my website. And like I say, they've been coming up on my property now for quite a while. So, you know, they're should be stabilized by now. I mean, it's the same thing every year that comes out of these. So give them a go. Just remember that you're going to get cracks. You want to pick them when they crack and eat them right there. You don't want to leave them around for the fruit flies, so you got to keep your eyes on them. And that's it. All right, so that was a melon review for this mystery crack melon. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.